Hello everybody! Welcome back to Nukeshot Media once again for what is Season 2 of the ARS Touring Car Championship here at Interlagos Round 1, kicking us off here today. Joining me in the booth, my second favourite co-host, a nice glass of Dandelion and Burdock. Good stuff. I, of course, am Nukeshot Zokeo here today, bringing this to you live. Compatriot Mika choosing to not be here today, instead, of course, having his own reasons. I'll just need to pull it up again. I believe it's to do with one of his family relatives who's been going under surgery recently, so he's spending some time with them. So, of course, best wishes to Mika. But it is just me here today, as qualifying has been started. No, okay. Slight reset anyway. So of course, ARS Touring Car Championship. You may recall I did an ARS Rewind video of last season. We also did a couple of the races live from last season as well. So fantastic action, including the season finale of that. So ARS choosing to go back to the Group 4 formula after an eventful and quite action-packed Group 3 season. That was the World GT Series. Now going back to this. Everyone still just getting used to the lobby and such. Today's race timetable, the qualifier going to start at 10 to, so that's around 7 minutes or so according to the schedule. Race 1 is going to last 30 minutes. It's going to be followed by a 5-minute break, and race 2 will begin after that, which will be a reverse grid based on race 1 results. It will last 20 minutes. Plenty of opportunities for some fantastically spicy moments. Hello to both Amuda and John Wandering in the chat. Nice having GBM guys along. Of course, both of them in the lobby as well. Yeah, fantastic turnout as well with the grid. Some of the championship information. Finishing first will award you the typical 15 points. Second will get you 12. Third will get you 10. Fourth is 8. Fifth is 6. Sixth is 5. Seventh will get you 4 points. Eighth place 3 points. Ninth place 2 points. And 1 single point for 10th place. Qualifying has now officially been suspended. There's also a success ballot system, which is relatively straightforward to get your head around. First place will get you 3% weight increase, 2% for second, 1% for third. And there will be a ballast reset after round 5. This, I believe, is a 10-round championship. 8-round championship, rather. My apologies, getting the maths wrong with that. Indeed, 5 minutes until qualifying gets underway. Let's have a look at some of the entries then. ALT James fielding a BMW M4. One of the Arrows cars, of course, series organisers. You may recall he was using an Aston Martin in the World GT series. Should be looking for some good pace around here. This is actually the circuit where he got a win at in the World GT series, so definitely one of the favourites to look out for here. The Joe 2 guy makes their return, this time in an Alfa Romeo 4C. This Impact guys, again, looking strong as ever as the AC James was pulled off to the side of the road. ART Hagi going for a Toyota 86. Good to see them back again. And not being race directed this time, actually competing. So, could take a bit of getting used to for Hagi getting back into that racing environment. Nevertheless, very experienced competitor. The other Simpact Alfa Romeo, driven by TSR Swablu, car 28. Again, another very fast driver. Fan favourite Quinners is in the other Toyota 86. I believe for ARS Racing Blue, hence the livery. I'm going to have to double check that in my notes shortly. I can eventually find an entry list. I'll do that in a bit. John Wondering makes their return in a silver BMW M4. Getting good machinery there, I know from my experience with it. Can be a bit thirsty on fuel, but we'll see how Jono does. Of course, for the Golden Bear Motorsports outfit, been active in chat already. Amuda, the other driver for Golden Bear Motorsports car 54, in that grey and gold rimmed BMW. Continually improving team, hope to see them decently up the order. ART Splurge, another one of the Arrows lads, they're using a Honda NSX. Can be a little bit of a handful in this Group 4 car, of course mid-engined. Similar to the Alfa Romeos, as you see a little bit of oversteer going through Junsao. And a returning face that we haven't seen in a very long time, Volex Crazy John. They in a Honda NSX as well. They might have had an incident with someone there, because they've reset to the pits, but nevertheless, good to see Crazy John back. As some of the first times being set, I believe we're still in the practice session, however, as qualifying should be getting underway in around a minute or so. Six people in chat currently. Nice having you guys along. Oh, someone has span out there. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna go on board to see. It was one of the ART cars. I think it was James. Perhaps we don't quite have replay footage from this particular segment. Of course, just a practice session. And of course, VLX isn't for Volex anymore. My apologies, CJ. It's going to take a lot of getting used to with that one. As qualifying about to get underway here at Interlagos. It'll be interesting to see how this develops. So far, the Joe 2 guy with the fastest time at 1:37.7 in the practice session. How will they fare up come the actual qualifying session? We're about to find out. It's going to be ART James leading them off at the head of the pack in this 10-minute session, with a caution wide vehicle sticker on the back, depending on your resolution on the video. You can read that or not. And of course, with a very large TV screen as well as a phone. VLX now stands for Force India. Funny stuff. Nice having you, Felix, in chat, as well as, of course, Crazy John there as well. So it's actually Hagi that is. It says at the top of the timesheet now. Okay. It must have just been a glitch as they came across the sector markers. It is Roland Jupiter Quinners who is going to be the one setting the first laps if they stay as they are. Interlagos A very, very technical circuit, a classic. Of course, many a famous race happened here, of course, famous moments as well. Is that Glock? It is, and all that great banter that's happened in the past. Great circuit too. Surprisingly high speed given the look of it, if you see on the track map. Of course, Sector 2 being an area where you could gain a lot of time. We're going to go on board with Quinners as we start the first laps of the season in the qualifying session. Where's he brake? Around the 50 board, going into the Senna S. Car just a little bit unsettled, perhaps not applying all the traction down there. Again, very easy to mess that up with how steep the downhill is. Going across the first sector marker there, 25 seconds. Now approaching the more technical side of the circuit, where perhaps the acceleration of the Toyota might be its undoing. Then again, it does have good handling, so we're going to see how it does. Nice and wide on the entry curve there. Again, nice and wide curves throughout the circuit really. Can really maximise track width. Good acceleration out of there. Nice late braking. Gets that set up very nicely. Now over to the right as much as possible to set yourself up to the left. Nice and flat. Braking for John Sow, and then the run up the hill where torque is key. And now the run to the line. A fantastic audience in the crowd as well. Turn out here today for the first race of the season. What's the first time going to be? He runs it right to the pit wall. It's a 138.1 for Quinners, as Swablu goes second fastest provisionally for now, as Joe is third, James fourth, Splurge fifth, or Hagee fifth now as they cross the line. Managing to get ahead of Splurge, so Splurge down to 7th now as Crazy John goes to 4th place, 5/10 off the pace at the moment. Quinn is still holding that fastest lap, as John Wandering is 8th with that time, a 141.5. Amuda may have had a mistake on that lap, being 7 seconds back from their teammate. Hoping they can gather it up. Quinn is still on the head of the field on track. Also, hello to Mika in chat. No one's race directing for this. There is no safety car procedure or anything, so there is no need for a race director really. Which is a nice, refreshing change. Also allows Hagee, race director from last season, to be able to participate as well, which is all good. Now, is Quinners going to improve this time around from their 138.1? We saw laps faster than that in the practice session. Indeed, they don't improve on this occasion. TSR Swablu goes fastest of all with a 137.8. The Joe 2 guy in second with a 137.9. We saw them go 2/10 faster than that before. Hagee goes to 4th, overtaking Crazy John by around 1/10. And Crazy John overtakes them back. Fantastic dueling in the qualifying session. CJ now a 10th and a bit ahead of Hagee. Still 6/10 off the pace of Swablu at the head of the field. John Wandering improves their time to a 141.2. That, I believe, is 9th for them at the moment, as Amuda managed to go and indeed improve on their time by 8 seconds. Really does imply that they may have had a mistake on their first lap. We've still got 4 minutes or so, just under, in the session. Hello to Snippy in the chat as well. Nice having you along. And Nils as well. Up to 9 viewers. Now, it would normally come up purple if an improvement is made by winners in a sector over the current Festis. So at the moment it doesn't quite look like it's going to be the case, although it is looking quite close. Could be an improvement? No. Just misses out. Still, perhaps a couple laps left on the clock. No improvements by either the TSR cars nor James. James currently 6th in that BMW M4. Sploge there also in the Honda NSX should be quite good in that middle sector. And perhaps on the straights as well, we've seen in the past it being quite strong. Now perhaps the TSR cars working together a bit with the slipstream advantage. Not 100% sure whether that's the case. It could definitely be a good advantage having the slipstream up the hill and across the line if they alternate. Thinking to F1 at Monza strategies here. Both of them looking very strong at the moment though. Just a 10th off their own best time. As Swabler goes perhaps a little bit wide. A little bit of understeer mid-corner. Manages to gather it up. Hamuda in the pits meanwhile. Perhaps they've got some kind of damage. Indeed they do. Rear aero damage and suspension damage. And Joe goes top of the timing sheet with the 137.683. James meanwhile improves their time to 138.597. That's enough for 5th, so James jumps up a position ahead of Hagee. And Crazy John goes 3rd fastest for VLX. Car 25 with a 137.948. Definitely not showing any signs of rust on their return here today. Right back up to pace. John Wandering improves their time to 141.1. Still 6/10 off their teammate. They'll be hoping to get one last very, very good lap in order to jump them. Oh, look at that. Look at the way that the car pitches in there to that hairpin. Fantastic to see. On a real knife-edge balance. Be interesting to see how consistent some of the mid-engine cars can be, like the Alfa Romeo and the Honda NSX. As we see a spin in the back. I think that was James. Indeed it was. James getting it wrong. Out of jumps now, just running a little bit too wide. Can we get a replay of this as the session draws to a close? What happened here? Hit just a bit too wide over the grass. Tried getting back on the circuit, but put a little bit too much lock in. Unsettled the car and looped it. So Joe, current top of the timing sheets as the checker flag is out. Looking very strong there, a 10.5 in it between them and teammate Swablu. Crazy John coasts across the line, no improvement for them, so they stay 3rd for now. Now who's that coming up? That's Hagee. What does Hagee do? An improvement for Hagee, that puts them 5th. That jumps them ahead of James by 28 thousandths of a second. I believe that was John Wandering improving their time again. It isn't enough. 34 thousandths between the two GBM teammates. John Wandering couldn't quite find that little bit extra that he needed to jump his teammate. And I believe Amuda, the last car on a lap, and see if they can further improve. In fact, no, they're on an outlap, I've just noticed. So that is qualifying completed. It is TSR Joe 2 guy who is our first pole sitter of the season with a 137.683. Fantastic pace set by both Alfa Romeos from Team Simpact Racing. Swablu second, of course. And VLX Crazy Jump with a fantastic return to form in third. But now it is time for race 1. And another sip of Dandelion and Burdock while I'm at it. So here we go. On pole, TSR Joe 2 guy, Swablu in second, Crazy John third, Quinners fourth, Hagee fifth, James sixth, Splurge seventh, Hamuda eighth, John Wandering in ninth. The car's about to get the racing underway here for the first race of the season of ARS Touring Car Championship. It is green, 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 and the cars are off. Bit of wheel spin from some of the guys. Amuda seems to be making moves in the back. Joe manages to hold position ahead of Swablu going down to turn 1, but look at this. Quinners up to 4th. James looking to battle with that BMW as well. Can't quite get it, has to slot back in. And Hagee looking to the inside of Splurge, manages to get that to stick. So Hagee actually lost a couple of positions, it would seem, from the order that they started out in. They're now making their way into sector 2. Look at that round the outside! Tries Splurge. And the car gets very unsettled there. Could lead for a run by John Wandering. Can't quite get close enough on this occasion. So Joe leads from Swablu. And CJ very, very close behind as well in that Honda NSX. Really putting the pressure on. We're interested to see if anyone starts breaking a bit of a gap. Hello to only one in the chat as well. And yes, I have no idea why they're chatting and racing at the same time. In some cases. I think it's between sessions, so it's all good. Don't text and drive. Cars making their way through Johnstown up the hill. Will the slipstream come into effect? It looks like Swablu might come under a bit of attack from the Honda. Going on board now with Crazy John. Does he get his nose alongside? No, not quite. Has to slot back into the slipstream. The Alfa Romeo's working well together. Look at the tow that the Alfa Romeo Swablu has from their teammate. Joe runs a little bit wide. That could allow the teammate to close up on them. Very, very close stuff in these early proceedings, of course. Charging down into sector 2. Swablu looks for it. Can't quite get it. CJ sends it to the inside, and does he get it to stick? He does! Great move there by Crazy John. Will he be able to hold it? Swablu manages to battle back to the outside now of the following corner. Can he hold on to it? No, he can't. He is no Bob the Builder. Look at these scenes. Fantastic stuff. Quinn is also looking quite strong at the moment. They're in 4th. No one seems to be able to break away, really. Which is the interesting thing at this stage. Everyone's staying very close together. Bit of a slide there from James on exit. Now, if anything, it looks like Joe managing to get a slight bit of a gap over CJ. Definitely not broken slipstream range, though. Of course, around 1.3 seconds for any effective slipstream. In fact, the top 5 are starting to break away now from Hagee. Does Hagee have any damage? In fact, no, he's on the medium compound. The cars come across the line. Joe also on a medium set of tyres. Fantastic scenes as they plunge down through the center S. Contrasting lines a little bit as CJ looks for a bit of clear air. Hello to Wake in the chat as well, nice having you along. Double figures for viewers now, 10. Thank you so much for that. Yep, top 5 really have managed to break a bit of a gap. It's Splurge looking to close down on Hagee, if he should happen to drop out of slipstream range himself. Swablu closing up again. Going for a rear wing cam here on Joe Two Guy's car. Making their way down towards the final sector of the circuit. In fact, look at that, between 4th and 3rd in the back. Swablu coming under pressure from Quinners. Manages to hold on to it, however. Though it could be a run on the straight given how close they are. And indeed, it looks like Hagee could be coming under a bit of attack himself from Splurge. Look how close Splurge is. It'd be quite a send if he manages to get it from there, so I think he'd back out of it for now. Indeed does so. Oh, the NSX very slidey mid-apex. Perhaps the curb just unsettling the car a bit. Top 2 still close together, the top 5 still. There's barely anything separating them. But I think the top 2 are starting to get a slight gap. As Swablu having to do a bit of defensive work against Quinners. Quinners looking very pacey in this stage of the race. Of course, this being a track that they say they really like and have very good results around here. At least from what I recall. They might say they hate it, but they just happen to get good results for all I know. Nevertheless, it's been one of their stronger circuits. As, look at that, for 7th and 6th, Splurge around the outside manages to get it done. Let's see if we can catch this again. So Splurge went to the inside here, and then Hagee seemed to put up a bit of a counter-attack. So that's Hagee there trying to send it, and then cover around the outside. Well done, Splurge, on that one. And then again, look, battle of the slipstream. That Toyota might have had a bit of a buff in balance performance since season 1. And looking to the inside, they back out of it in the end. Back to the leading battle. It looks like CJ might have a little bit of a run this time on Joe. We're gonna see. Right over the bumper of him. Looking to the inside now. Backs out of it. Not quite close enough to make anything stick. Might have lost a little bit of time from that actually. Swablu coming back into this battle with CJ. Thanks for nod for me of that. Only one in chat. Fuel times 1, tires times 2 is what they're saying for the depletion rates. If that is the case, I don't believe we'll be seeing any pit stops really. Unless of course they're mandatory, but I don't believe so. Again, wouldn't be the first time I've been majorly mistaken. Oh, a little bit wide. Picking up some dust on the tyres of that Honda NSX. Going to go on board now with Crazy John. See if the NSX, known for its straight line speed from last season at Touring Car Championship, able to perhaps close up on the Alfa Romeo. No, it can't. No advantage gained by the slipstream on this occasion. But again, look how much it closes up through this section here. Could we be seeing a send? He thought about it last lap, and he does it again. We're going back to the TV cameras. Seem to have a bit of oversteer mid-apex, which ruined their momentum, and that allows Joe to easily retain the lead again. And now they're coming under threat from Swablu. Things staying pretty level at the moment. The top 4 or 5 cars seem to be doing quite well. James just holding on to the back of that pack at the moment. Just a few car lengths or so behind. Hagee meanwhile back ahead of Splurge. That must have happened a bit earlier. VLX Crazy John now the 137.9. Not quite qualifying speeds, but that is the fastest lap of the race at the moment. As look how close the Honda is on this occasion. Joe having to go a bit defensive to the inside, right up to the wall net. Not quite, leaves a little bit of space to the outside. Boxing them in. Nearly 3 wide going into there. And Quinners, look at Quinners! Managing to make a move. 3 wide indeed! Mid-apex of the center S. Quinners not able to make that stick. And CJ up into the lead of the race. Fantastic stuff there by the VLX driver. We're going to see a replay of all of this shortly. Here it was from CJ's perspective. It seemed that Joe on the inside line perhaps outbroke himself, a slide from him in effect. And then the 3 behind them just had to filter back together. Joe second, Swablu third, Quinners fourth. Quinners very, very ambitious and fantastic aggression at this stage from them to be trying to get in that mix. So 4 cars at the moment really dueling their way together. Now with a new leader, will CJ be able to pull a bit of a gap? We'll have to see. As, oh, Swablu perhaps a little bit wide. Splurge still chasing down Hagee as well. Could be close enough for an overtake when they get to the flat out section after Junsao. Here we go. We'll have to monitor this one. Hagee, a little bit of dust collected on exit from what has been a very warm day here at Interlagos, so the grass and the dirt around the grass very dusty indeed. As we now see Joe going to the inside of CJ. They got the run with the slipstream. Do they get it stopped? They just about do, but a kick of oversteer. Maybe a smidge of contact between them. That's allowing everyone to bunch back up again. All this fighting really benefiting James as well, who might be saving a bit of fuel if needed, I suppose. Although actually no, the likelihood of that is very unlikely. Swablu again, trying to see if he can do anything to benefit and get up into those top 2 positions. Doing well in third at the moment, and Quinners as well. We saw them make one attempt, didn't quite pull off for them, but it was definitely a worthy challenge, and all of these cars definitely still within the fight. As we see Hagee run a little bit wide, bit of a twitch from the Toyota. On exit, is Splurge going to try the outside here, maybe a cutback? No, not quite. Meanwhile, I think the GBM cars are quite close together as well. Indeed, the 2 silver grey BMWs of Amuda and John Wandering. Amuda in 8th, John Wandering in 9th. As I believe, oh, there might have just been a slight graphical error or something that I may have just saw in my peripheral vision. Either way, CJ now charging down to the inside. Do they manage to get it stopped? Indeed they do, but I don't think it's gonna quite work out in a passive fact. That could leave them vulnerable as Swablu looks to the outside line. Has to slot back in. But now look, Quinners with the momentum. Do they manage to get their nose alongside? Maybe just a tip of it. Look at this. Swablu to the inside of CJ. Quinners looking to go around the outside of everyone. And Swablu still side by side with CJ. James has really closed up in all of this. And it is Swablu just ahead and indeed manages to close the door on CJ. It's a TSR 1-2 once again. That'll make their sponsors quite happy. As that dueling has left CJ vulnerable there. Quinner's looking to take advantage. Can't quite. I'm going to go on board here with James. I think this could be a very good perspective, seeing this forward cam from the back of this particular 5-car train. See how everything develops from this perspective. Will anyone be able to make a move in the slipstream? Doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. I think Swablu might just be holding station in an attempt for those two Simpak cars to break away from the rest of the field. Could be good tactics if they do so. I think CJ made a little bit of a mistake, outbraking himself a bit. That mid-engined Honda NSX, very difficult to handle at times. Of course, stock setups for everyone here today, throughout the season. James closes up a little bit more as Hagee still ahead of Splurge. Splurge looking to the inside, contact between the two, and they both go a little bit wide. I'm gonna see if we can catch that again. Here it is from Splurge's perspective, very late on the brakes, just had to send it at that point. So Splurge back up to 6th. I don't believe either of these guys have damage from that contact. Just a little bit of rubbing. Perhaps a bit of weight reduction stage 3 from the paint loss. But I think that could be it. As Joe goes a little bit wide through there. Now, will Swablu be able to make an attack, or do they just settle in? They're 2 tenths behind and gaining. You can see that on the Delta. The Delta brought to you by Lancia. I don't know why that just came into my head. A lot of weird things just randomly pop into my head. It's a trait of mine. Apologies for that. Plunging through the center ARS. Swablu does indeed try to hold station. Another area where they could attack. Having to go defensive, rather, it would seem. Oh! And that's a collision between the two teammates. The closing speed there, enormous. Is that damage, perhaps? No. Somehow damage avoided, but not for Joe. Joe does pick up damage from that, and look at this. CJ having to go to the outside. Joe holds on, so that is damage for the leader and the pole sitter, if you remember as well. Joe, this could be disastrous for them. Swablu looking to make any sort of attack now as they try and get past CJ. Quinner's also in the mix as well. Look at Quinner's. Quinner's looking to the outside. And now it really is a 5-car battle as James is very much closed up again. They could be making a challenge. Swablu looking, just put himself in the mirrors of CJ. I think things are getting a little bit heated on track at the moment. Everyone needs to just settle back in, though we only have 7 laps remaining. Now, will that damage to Joe's car affect their top speed? Of course, aerodynamic performance not just is a cornering thing, it also affects the kind of speed you can reach on a straight. Look at this. Can they get it done? They are to the inside. Will they be able to hang around the outside for this next part? CJ up into the lead. Joe on the outside. Swablu goes up to 2nd. And it looks like Quinners is going to find their way to 3rd as well. So Joe absolutely mugged off the podium through the center S. Quinners looking to the inside of Swablu. Can't quite get it done. Sorry, getting the 2 Alfa Romeos mixed up a bit there. And making their way through sector 2. James is still just hanging back there. Just lurking, waiting for his chance to strike at the moment. Perhaps saving his tyres a little bit. Tyres are starting to go a little bit on these cars. Not to the point where they'd be affecting the performance really. But you gotta think, Joe with that damage could be a little bit off the pace, so James will have to make a move quick if he is going to stay with that group. Meanwhile, the battle between the GBM cars still rages on, 8th and 9th. John wandering looking to the outside. Can't quite get it done on this occasion. Multiple battles happening at multiple areas of the circuit. It's Honda first, Alfa Romeo second, Toyota third. Now will Swablu be able to make an attack? CJ goes defensive to the inside. Swablu has to go to the outside. Quinners swallows them. Good defensive work there. And in fact, look at this from Quinners. Quinners round the outside. Can they take second place? It's going to be a case of who has the slipstream, I think. And I think that is going to be Quinners. And indeed, the slipstream pulls the Toyota ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Oh, it looked like they might have run a little bit wide. Bit of a twitch as Swablu's car went over the curb. The drama continues as I believe also Hagee and Splurge still very close together. So we've got 3 groups on track. We've got the lead group, we've got the second group, and the third group. Hagee and Splurge in that second group, John Wandering and Mulder in that third group. No one able to individually pull away though from one of the groups. So I think Splurge may have made a slight mistake. They seem to have lost a little bit of time through one of the sections. Or perhaps I was just, my judgment deceiving me a little bit. Apologies for that. Now look, Quinners. We know this is one of their stronger circuits. Will they be able to take the lead here? Again, CJ defensive to the outside line.com. That Toyota seems to have very good straight line speed this season. Do they manage to hang on to it? No, the Honda ahead. That compromises the run of Quinners, and that could also bring Swablu into the mix again. Any one of these 5 could be at any position within this top 5 by the end of the race. Who knows? Tension reaching absolute boiling point. Swablu to the inside of Quinners. Right up against the track limits there. And I think Swablu is just about ahead and into second. Indeed he is. So he's going to be looking for a bit of redemption after that collision with his teammate. Joe doing a very good job holding on as well with that damage. You see how slidey that car is through that hairpin. As I think that is James sending it. I knew he'd have to sooner or later. I think Joe manages to hold on now with the inside line. Indeed. Good work there by Joe. But that has really dropped these guys a little bit back. I think that might have cost James a chance at a podium. Difficult to say though. Still quite a few laps left. These guys could gain back up, but he does need to clear Joe as soon as he can. Meanwhile, the battle for 6th rages on. Splurge now ahead of Hagee. Again, apologies for missing so many overtakes. It's very difficult to keep track of everything, especially when everyone's separated into 3 different groups, so I'm trying my best. Amuda's still ahead of John Wandering at this stage. Swablu looking, putting himself in the mirrors of CJ, hoping for a chink in the Greek's armour. No such thing at the moment. Remember, this is only race 1 of 2. If you're enjoying this fantastic race, be sure to stick around for race 2 as well. and consider leaving a like on the stream if enjoying. Subscribe if you want to watch the rest of the season as well. That's going to be happening all on Nukeshot Media as well. Brought to you by many beverages, Dandelion and Burdock being one of them. CJ runs a little bit wide through there. Quinners in third. Again, these top three, a little bit of a gap. Now Joe will have lesser slipstream this time around, as he is a bit further back than he was before. Now, that should in theory give James an advantage. Perhaps James will make a move going up to turn one. Then again, got to monitor the battle for the lead as well. As Quinners looks very close to the back of Swablu. Closing speed there through the center S. Could we be seeing an ARS Racing blue car ahead of all of its main team rivals by the end of the race this time around? It'd be interesting to see, as I think John Wandering has managed to get ahead of Amuda through John Sao. Just going to quickly check. Amuda looking to the inside. Could they retake that position? They look very much later on the brakes. I think they may have overcooked it, have they? No. Good work there by Amuda on that occasion. These guys still close together. CJ, that was a mistake there. That could be the chink that Swablu was looking for. A bit of an oversteering movement from the Honda NSX. And someone's gone flying. Was that Swablu? It was, and look at this. Swablu nearly muscled out again by their teammate. And down to 5th, so I'm going to have to see if I can catch this again. What happened here to Swablu? So in accident avoidance, it seems, to try and avoid hitting CJ, they went off, and then Joe having to compromise their line a little bit just to not make contact with their teammate there. And James now does get past Joe, so James up to 3rd. Now will Joe be able to get a run? We're gonna see. Gonna be difficult, but look at the lead as well. Quinners to the inside, manages to get it to stick. Now will CJ be able to put up a counter attack? Doesn't quite look like it on this occasion, though there is still the run to go up the hill, and there is another lap as well. And of course the NSX very strong through this twisty section, so plenty of opportunities still for the order to be shaken up. Look at this, a slide from Joe. Joe is still ahead though of James. Very good defensive work by Joe given the damage. Now did Swablu perhaps pick up any damage? He did! Swablu picked up front aero damage from what I can only assume was the collision with CJ. CJ without damage. It was that moment where he seemed to swerve a little bit of netcut, perhaps a collision there between CJ and Quinners. Now does Quinners pick up damage from that? No, neither of the leaders have damage at this stage. Quinners with fastest lap of the race, going on to the last lap of the race. 137.829. That BMW also lurking. Look how defensive, right up to the wall goes Quinners. CJ right to the outside. It's going to be close. Look at this, they're leading on each other through here. Unbelievable. Sees oversteer from CJ. Quinners off the circuit. Looking to the outside now. Who has the fastest speed without slipstream of these guys? James meanwhile still having a duel with Joe for that final step of the podium. Looks to the inside, can't quite get it there. CJ now looking to the inside here. My voice is cracking more than an earthquake again to say it for probably the millionth time on this channel. But still, look at that. Door handle to door handle as they make their way through the second sector. Unbelievable racing. Look at this. CJ having to just slot back in now as Quinners pulls ahead, but there's still, of course, the run out of Jun Sao. I think that's going to be CJ's best chance of getting a run through there. James is up to third now. Joe couldn't quite hold on to that. Will they be able to hold on from their teammate as well, Swablu? Splurge in 6th, Hagee 7th at the moment, Amudra 8th, John Wander in 9th. It's going to be close, I think. It could be it. Is CJ going to get enough of a run? Look at the tenths closing down. Hundredths even. Only hundredths. And I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Quinners has taken the win here. Race 1 of round 1 of the ARS Touring Car Championship Season 2. Congratulations to them. Fantastic drive by all the top 5, really. Great dueling throughout. Little bit of onion barges here and there. Nevertheless, great racing once again provided by this series. James, third, final step of the podium, managed to get that done at the crucial point of the race. Joe, fourth, of course got damaged by the teammate earlier on, and Swablu also picking up damage later on. They come home in fifth. Splurge ahead of Hagee in that duel. Fantastic duel it was as well. Apologies we couldn't have monitored that, nor the duel between Amuda and John Wandering as much as we could have, as they still dueled together. It looks like Amuda is going to take 8th, John Wandering 9th. But there is far too much action for this series on good. It's fantastic. Be sure to leave a like for that one if you enjoyed. Fastest lap, clean race bonus as well. Up 3 positions for Quinners. Fantastic result for them. So we now prepare for race 2 today. Of course, same circuit, not leaving Interlagos this round. We're going to be having a reverse grid based on those results. Here are your race results. Only 0.4 of a second in it in the end between Quinners and CJ. Fantastic racing. James 3rd, Joe 4th, 5th Swablues, Splurge in 6th, Hagee 7th, Amuda 8th, John Wandering 9th. So race 2 going to be 20 minutes as opposed to race 1's 30 minutes that we just witnessed. And with it being a reverse grid, you just know that all the action that we just saw is going to be put up to 11 by these guys. That's going to happen in around 6 minutes time. So until then, we've got a word from our sponsor. Have you been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault? Well, isn't that a shame? I don't know. Survey says. I wonder if I can get copyrighted by that. Possibly. Who knows? And great seeing some of the reactions we had mid-race in chat as well. Fantastic with the viewership. John Wandering telling me to shut it. I honestly don't blame you for that one, Chief. Here we go then. 12 laps is going to be the 20-minute race. Some of these guys leaving and rejoining just to clear their cache or something. Clear replay space in CJ's case, I just read that. I am a spoon. Yes, I agree. If I'm a spoon, then you're a spork, CJ. That's what you are. And no, I don't mean you're twice as useful. Even though that was a great performance by you on your return. I'm surprised by... how quick he was up to speed, so that's definitely something to look out for throughout the season. Other news as well, of course, the Joe 2 guy, one of the strongest contenders throughout any championship really that he's been in, whether on this channel or Half the Race Gun. Only 4th or 5th, whichever it was, for them, 4th in the end. They'll be hoping to do a bit better, although they'll be hoping to just stay out of trouble, I think, this time around. Going to be starting ahead of 1st, 2nd and 3rd, of course, in the reverse grid race. Fantastic livery work by the competitors here as well today. Everyone being advised to get on the circuit, like the Squidwards they are. I think it's just John Wandering that we're waiting for. Oh no, John Wandering is on circuit, so who are we waiting for? No one. I think all 9 are on circuit now. Schedule start is around 2 minutes, but if everyone's ready, I suppose they could start it a bit earlier, entirely up to the organiser's discretion on that one. If anyone here would be interested in joining the series, consider joining, I believe the Discord server for my channel anyway is in the description. Indeed it is. Also, for some reason I've just noticed YouTube's automatically decided that this is Forza Motorsport 6. I just looked at that in the description, even though we're on PlayStation. Alright. Great banter. So yes, go to the Discord and yeah, that's in the description, that link, and then through there you should be able to find a server portal on that server leading to either the Sim Racing Federation or the ARS Racing Series directly, and from there you can be in contact with people to help you sign up through either GT Planet or other means. Hagee with some fantastic sliding action as well. We're also now officially sponsored by Trail Mix, so good stuff. Everyone's saying that kind of ready. That's good to know. Optimism. Going through some stuff in chat. We are at 8:40 PM, so things should be getting underway shortly. And indeed, James, the host of the lobby, is starting this one. 20 minutes reverse grid action. Drivers, I think, could be ones to watch in this. Splurge and Hagee, probably, given their starting positions, but then again some of those further back we saw had the pace. It all depends on how they can slide through the field. Here we go then, John Wandering on pole, Amuda second. Now will those two GBM cars be able to work together and essentially create a roadblock to stop anyone getting past? 12 laps of this, remember. We're about to get race 2 underway here at Interlagos. Green, 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 and the cars are off. Joe has a blinding start, look at that! And the other Alfa Romeo as well, looking to overtake Hagee right off the start. Both TSR cars up to second, or third and fourth rather, it would seem. But look at Splurge, Splurge managing to put up a defense. Amuda up into the lead of the race off the start. As major shuffling has gone on. James, tonight, James has spun it. James has spun around. Quinn is looking to the inside of Joe. We don't have damage. Does James have damage? No. Gonna have to go back to this. CJ runs wide. And the battle for 4th and 3rd is on. John Wondering falling down the order a bit. Splurge looking to the inside of them. Good overtake there by Splurge. So Swablu up into a good position, but another terrible start then after an initial great getaway by the Joe 2 guy. This time it wasn't down no collision with their teammate. Just seemed to be, well, a collision with someone, I assume. Nevertheless, look at Hagee. Hagee looking quite strong. They'd be one of my picks for this. Amuda doing a good job at the moment. Looks like they're going to lead a lap. As I'm going to just see if we got the time to have a look at what happened to James. Okay, so Joe runs wide there. That's where he lost all the position. James just clipped the grass, it would seem. And that sent them into a spin just by running a bit too wide. But look at this Amuda having to go very aggressive in their defense, squeezing Swablu right up to the wall. But they outbrake themselves, and that's allowed Swablu up into the lead. Hagee's gone past as well. And now Splurge looking to capitalise. They nearly slot their nose alongside the BMW's bumper. Will they be able to outbrake them? It looks like they might be able to. Do they get that to stick? Yes. Amuda's coming back at them. Fantastic switchback. Do they manage to hold on? I think they do. Just about. Oh! Very aggressive stuff there from Splurge. Manages to just about avoid hitting Swablu and spinning them around. But look at that! Very similar move there. Nearly 3 wide. That's allowing Quinners to go through as well. This is absolute pandemonium. Look at that. I think Quinners has just gone off the circuit, have they? They managed to get back on it. Contact between them and Splurge, I think that was. So one of their teammates. Amuda still 4th at this stage. Quinners looking to the inside of CJ. These two dueling. So much going off. At the minute, Swablu still leads, although Hagee in what seems to be a very strong Toyota 86 on the straights this time around. Looking to make a move around the outside. Can they get that to stick? No, not on this occasion. Going a bit further back. Amuda's still 4th. 5th is Quinners. 6th is CJ. John Wondering 8th. Joe 7th there. And James, if these guys continue battling as they are, might still be able to catch up. I'm going to just do a quick damage check over all these cars. Amuda does have damage, rear aero damage, so that's something of note. As for everyone else, John Wondering also has damage, so damage for both Golden Bear Motorsport machines. And of course I don't think, nope, no damage to James, who just a spin. Look at that though, to the outside goes Quinners. They got the inside for the next corner, and they managed to keep the position. The BMW looking to go a little bit wide, CJ looking for his opportunity, can't quite get it. Amuda looking to re-overtake through that. That's insanity, trying to run alongside someone there. Do they get it stopped? Amuda, fantastic overtake. And look at that, CJ manages to keep Quinners, or catch Quinners napping a little bit through there. So Quinners made 1 overtake, then lost 2 positions. Door handle to door handle again, 3 wide as they make their way towards the center S. Who's gonna get it? Oh! Quinners manages to get back up to 4th, a double overtake by them. CJ sliding their way around. Could get a little bit of a run Joe 2 guy also running. Look at that collision there. That's going to be one for the stewards, I think. It looked like there might have been a bit of a squeeze. To the inside now goes CJ. So Joe manages to sneak past both of them. But I don't know if Joe may have picked up any suspension damage or anything from that. It seems not. I'm going to go on board here with CJ just to see what roughly happened from this perspective. So they were just about 3 wide. As a bit of a swerve from a Muda, it would seem. The car might have got a bit unsettled from a smidge of contact. Of course, got to take into account the rear aero damage on that machine as well. Now Hagee, will Hagee be able to get an overtake done on this occasion? The Alpha's still quite good on the straights though. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to challenge on this occasion. Probably best to stick behind. Or not! Look at that! Hagee manages to get it stopped as well. Fantastic overtake by them. As Amuda goes into the pits, no doubt to repair the damage that they had. What a move there by ART Hagee on their return to racing. League racing at least. Look how defensive they go as well. Great work by them. Swablu looking to the outside. Hagee retains the position. Great work by them. Here it is again. Swablu really braking a fair bit earlier but then Hagee on that occasion, so the brakes on the Toyota very, very solid. Joe, meanwhile, is set at 137.9. He's in 5th at the moment. Splurge in 3rd. We're watching now. Winner's 4th. 5th is Joe. CJ in 6th. Now CJ has damage. He must have picked up at some point. Perhaps. We did see him sliding around a fair bit. A little bit of onion barges here and there, so perhaps that damage is a result of that. As I'm gonna sneeze. Apologies for that, I'm back. Oh dear. Sneeze McGee makes a return. Oh, look at this, Quinners to 3rd, overtaking James, or overtaking Splurge rather. Many ART drivers there were. Now can we see this one again? Splurge leaves the door open for Quinners. Down the inside, easy as you like. Again, the Toyota solid on the brakes. Green sector last time out there by Quinners, so he's got some pace still to give. Swablu, meanwhile, back ahead of Hagee. So these two continue to duel away. CJ doing a good job holding on with the damage they have. Looking through this sector 2. It seems Quinners is starting to pull a gap over Splurge now that they're ahead, so the Toyota's really coming good in this second race. To the inside now goes the Joe 2 guy, gets a good run. Will it be enough of a run? Oh, onion barges there as well. Perhaps just giving each other a bit of a love tap. Joe ahead even before the braking zone, so good work by them. Splurge, oh, Splurge looks to the inside. Has to narrowly slot back in there. Really piling on the pressure. Does want to get that position back as soon as possible. All this is really playing into the hands of Quinners. just able to manage to get a bit of a gap. It's around 7/10 of a second at the moment. Joe having to go defensive. Look how unstable the Hondas are over that exit curb. They run just slightly wide. Meanwhile, I think looking at the track map, as James, or Splurge rather again, getting those two confused, looks for a gap. Swablu seems to have got a little bit of a gap now over Hagee. So that slipstream break, not quite finished, but Swablu has that fastest lap of the race, presumably without any slipstream, or that might have been a while ago when he was back behind Hagee. Difficult to say. They got a good exit out of Johnstown, and the Alfa Romeo manages to pull away, but there you see the Toyota closing up again, thanks to the slipstream. 1.3 seconds, again the range of effective slipstream. Joe managing to close the gap back up to Quinners, so Quinners not able to break away from this group. Could see an overtake here from the Joe 2 guy. We've got around a third of the race to go. Quinners alongside Joe. Joe alongside Quinners. And look at that, CJ also trying to make a move on Splurge. Those two are still side by side. I think Quinners manages to hold on to third place for now. I think Splurge gonna hold on to fifth as well there. But that's really broken the gap between these guys. Oh, oversteering there, so the two Hondas really slidey again. Bit of better traction through there by CJ. Looking to the inside, a gap that's very narrowly there. The gap at the front of the field, looking at the track map again, still extending. I think Hagee's out of slipstream range by now. Indeed, 1.8 seconds. Swablu just needs to keep up the pace and not make any mistakes, and they should be on for the win here. That's a new fastest lap at one point, by the way, at 1:37.814. That was set without slipstream. That shows their kind of pace. Hagee's still second at the moment, side by side between Joe and Quinners. Joe manages to get that one to stick. They're up to third. Here we go. Quinners defensive. That's used to be a defensive way through the center S, just hugging that inside wall. Around the outside though, definitely a viable tactic, as proven there by Joe. Good dueling between these guys still. Haven't seen much of James in this one. James, although back up to 7th after that spin on lap 1. Joe Mondrin leading the two GBM cars, those two still very equal on pace. Of course, Amuda got the upper hand last time out. Of course, they also had to pit for damage repairs, you may recall. So actually, yes, John Wandering still has damage, and in fact, so does Amuda. So, Amuda perhaps not repairing all their damage or something? I don't know. Maybe they made a mistake in the pit stop. Be odd if they did. Going towards the center S again. Charging their way up. Joe having to go defensive. Sliding again in the Alfa Romeo. The Toyota looks a fair bit more competitive this time around in terms of its actual ability, its top speed and such. Still suffers a little bit of bog off the line. Splurge still having to go defensive. Massive slide by CJ on entry. Who's going to come out on top of the two Hondas here? Quinn is still having to chase down Joe. Only a couple laps remaining. 2 and a bit. James Curran in chat saying, "Go on, Roland," showing his support there for Quinners. Wangan Ghost also saying, "Good luck to all the drivers, I assume." So, nice of you to do that. Swablu now with a 1.7 second gap, so a tenth taken out, it would seem, compared to a few laps ago. But pretty much just stabilising his pace at this point. He's 3/10ths down, and the tyres aren't going to be worn that much, so I think he is just maintaining a pace at this stage. Contrasting lines there. Joe with a wider entry than Quinners, as James into the pits. This is an interesting one. So he's in the pits. I can only assume he wants to try fastest lap, but even then, the tyres aren't going to be worn to that extent where putting on a fresh set is going to do much. Closing stages of the race, 1.7 seconds still the gap. It actually is closing down a little bit now, 1.5 seconds through this middle sector. Hagee mounting a bit of a charge towards the end. Needs to be getting towards slipstream range if he is going to challenge for the lead. Unless it's going to be another mistake from Swablu, who knows. Still plenty of stuff can happen. But green by 4/10ths of a second there by Quinners, so he's on an absolute flyer of a lap at the moment in his attempt to catch and overtake Joe. Things looking like they've stabled a bit, as that's fastest lap of the race actually by Quinners, so well done to them. Was right about their pace really showing. CJ looking to the inside of Splurge at turn 1. Do they run a little bit wide? No, they managed to keep that. Given the damage still, well, that's not just aero damage, that's suspension damage as well. That's a really impressive feat there by Crazy John to get that to stick. One second now the gap between Swablu and Hagee. That could just be decreasing because Swablu dropping the pace a little bit, although looking how on the edge of track limits they were there. Definitely not letting up the pace at all. 1.1 seconds the gap momentarily. Back to that again. Joe's still ahead of Quinners. Quinners is going to have to gain just a little bit more to have a bit of a better run. Going out of Jun South for the last time. Swablu meanwhile exiting the final braking zone at least, going up the hill, and it is indeed going to be TSR Swablu taking the win in race 2 of round 1 of ARS Touring Car Championship Season 2. Well done to them. Hagee with a great result there for them, second after their return to actual racing of the series. Joe manages a bit of redemption with P3 on that after the reverse grid race. Quinn is 4th. Splurge manages to get 5th from CJ on the line. Look at that. Let's see if we can catch that again. 24 thousandths of a second within it. Here it was. Look at this. Run to the outside. Just getting ahead now, and indeed, what a fantastic race between those two we've seen. 5th goes Splurge's way, hard fought CJ has to settle for 6th. James in 7th. John Wondering 8th. 9th Amuda. It was Quinner setting fastest lap of the race again this time around. Victory though goes to TSR Swablu. Congratulations to them. Clean race bonus up 4 positions. They win the reverse grid race. Fantastic scenes. Hope you have enjoyed the action here tonight here on Nukeshot Media ARS Touring Car Championship. Of course, we will be back next time out around a week's time. We are going to be at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, which was broadcasted before. Actually, that was the Nukeshot race of California where we broadcasted that. So that provides some fantastic action. Be sure to watch that actually after this particular stream finishes up. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, consider subscribing to stay in touch with the rest of the season going on, as well as other projects and such on the channel. Hope you've all enjoyed, and from all of us here at Nukeshot Media, hope to see you next time out at Interlagos. No, that's where we are today. Never mind. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Hope to see you in California in 1 week's time. Until then, I've been Zokeo. This has been the Buzzer, and we hope to see you then. Actually, you know what? Little bit of bonus footage. Why not? Let's have some interviews. Thanks for reminding me there, Hagee. Good stuff. Okay. I'll be inviting a couple guys. If I can actually find them on the list. Don't you just love it when your friends are appearing offline? Come on, load up. Yeah, well. The guy's just connecting. Still connecting. Ah, there we hear the voice of TSR Swablu. And everyone's here. It's like the Nintendo memes. Hello everyone. Welcome to the post-race interview / chat, I suppose. Nice for you guys to be joining us. There's probably something going off, I don't know. I've had that issue for years, I had no idea. Anyway, nice having you guys along.
It's not watching the stream.
Anyway.
Ask a question.
Yeah, since there's so many of you guys here, one at a time, your perspectives on what has been a very action-packed round one.
Oh, class. I enjoyed it.
Same here.
Yeah, no, really good. Really good. Well, the bike's in the back of the police force. No, super racing throughout the whole round tonight.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, we've saw some classic touring car dueling throughout the field. Of course, race one seemed to be separated into three groups, but the top five pretty much stayed together throughout the majority of the race. It was fantastic to watch.
Up until a teammate with the aero damage.
Ah, of course. Here we go. Live raw footage of the brawl that's about to take place.
Yeah, right into the medical CJ to turn 4.
The amount of times I
Like 10.
hit Ben's like rear end like on the car is
That's a quote.
Oh dear, here we
so
go.
many times. Right.
Let's just downtrack.
Many people's rear ends super decent, just
Alpha was looking at me in a certain way and just
Ah dear, here we go. Remember, you guys are live on Nukeshot Media right now.
Well, I'm not. My voice share settings are up.
Oh, fair enough.
Come on, you peasant.
Oh dear.
No, we are on. It's restricted.
Fair enough. CJ, good return to racing for you. No real hint of rust at all, really. You seem to be up to pace quite quick.
I mean, I did have some practice earlier. It's not that I wasn't playing the game at all. I was running daily races like 3 hours before the race. Continuously. I was at a little bit of warm-up, then I saw that the series was going to start today. I just signed up. Why not?
Fair enough.
I try my best. I don't think I could have done anything better, really.
Yeah, good results for you all round. Of course, Simpac team taking the win in the final race. Swablu, you must be quite happy with that. But of course, mixed emotions with the collision with your teammate as well. But nevertheless, redemption in that second race. Oh, of course, your voice share settings. Why am I even speaking to you?
You meant to share your thoughts.
Great, fantastic.
Imagine speaking.
Turn them on. I'm not sure.
The level of professionalism from some of these guys is fantastic.
In the meantime,
No, it is on apparently.
Oh, okay.
Share your thoughts, Ben.
I'm happy I won. It was a good race, but it doesn't take away the fact that I gave Joe the offer and treatment, which I do apologise for. It's never ideal to hit your teammate.
Hmm?
It's a once a season thing at this track, because last season it was lag.
I luckily didn't have much luck.
No, I saw a very tiny bit from you at one point leaving the pits in practice, that was
Yeah,
it.
it seemed the majority of it was in practice, so they seemed to hold up quite well from that.
The struggle is bringing the entire setup downstairs for an Ethernet connection.
Yes, yes,
But it worked out. So.
yes. Good to see that you're back racing as well. Of course, you was race director last time, Hagee. You've been finding your feet quite well.
First time racing in ARS myself. Took a podium, so quite happy.
Good stuff. John Wandering's asking if he can join. I did send an invite to the ARS group chat.
he apparently wasn't there, so I brought him to the group chat.
Oh, okay.
You should see that the voice chat party's up.
I guess. Send it again.
Okay. I could just send him an individual invite, I think.
Good.
I have to say, Joe, you were doing some pretty nice power in that Alpha.
I know, that's just how the Alpha is if you try and break late at all anywhere.
That's the same with the 86 into turn 1 and some corners. So
Yeah. Alpha, it's
Ben
every-
that
Ben
is
experienced some late breaking into team.
I was surprised you got that stopped.
You went around the outside though. When you went around the outside though, I was like,
I'm already here, baby.
I was just gonna slide out.
I was expecting it to, yeah. So originally I was going to try a sort of cutback thing there, but
Let's
held it
I
out.
just left the car. I just literally slammed in the brakes off the car and stopped.
let's downtrack guys.
Yeah, it's
answers.
No, I don't even know. There was so
That's
much
it
going
from
on.
Nukeshot Media. Thanks for watching.
I suppose.
Make sure to dislike and cover thoughts.
I don't know what that background noise is now. Apologies if that's picking up.
It's you.
Is it me?
Someone else's.
Oh, why is someone watching me? Like, come on, man. That's a bit creepy, don't you think?
End the stream already.
All right. All right, Chief. Anyway, hope you've all enjoyed this fantastic round of ARS Touring Car Championship. We will be broadcasting the entire season here on Nukeshot Media, so be sure to subscribe with notifications on if you want to stay in touch with us with that and any other future content on the channel. From all of us here on Nukeshot Media and from the ARS Touring Car Championship, it's goodbye.